Hey, it's your blended family guy, Marcus Holmes. I have a show today. I have the real Barnetts on the show. I have Don and Tanya. It's gonna be a barn burner, guys. I mean, we're talking about true transparency, the platform that both of them are building, the book. I mean, it's going to be a good show. So you want to tune in. You want to share this. Remember, sharing is caring. And we're going to be giving away 3 books. We're going to be giving away 3 autographed books on today's show to those that are participating, adding adding to the conversation. We're going to try to go about an hour, but when it gets good, y'all, you know me. Enough now. It goes a little bit longer, and I'm trying to keep Don away from the barbecue that he just cooked. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm excited. So, guys, little bit about me. If you've never heard of the Blended Family Guy, my name is Marcus Holmes. I'm in a blended family, but it goes bigger and deeper than just being blended from a family perspective. Yes, I have a 25-year-old daughter that I've been raising. I have a 7-year-old son who loves to just pop in his head. Say hello, to Miss Tanya and Mr. Don.
Hi. How you doing?
He just lost his front tooth about 3 weeks ago, so he's doing good. He's hungry, and his grandmother is making him some macaroni and cheese, I think, right now.
Yeah, my mac and cheese is good.
Yeah. I think she made some of her world famous spaghetti, but we are doing good right now. That's what it's about, y'all. So this show, we were touching base before the call started, and we were just saying sometimes, you'll see family walk in. This is a real show. This is about real life. I want my son to always know, as I'm looking at him right now, that, I'm infringing on his quality time doing this. I love sharing. I love this platform of helping people, but it will never come before family.
Right.
And so I always want him to be a part of the show, to let him know he's welcome, and he can pop his little head in at any time. I see Colette is on. Hey, Colette, how are you doing? Colette, sharing is caring. Share and share often. This is going to be a good show. I'm excited. It's going to be nice and juicy. We're going to talk on the real stuff about marriage, what it takes, but we're also going to talk to Don and Tanya from a business perspective, how they're building their platform. If some of you are wondering, well, man, how did she get on Oprah Winfrey's network? She's going to touch on what do you need to do to lead up to that. That just didn't happen overnight. All right, that's a lot of networking. That's a lot of hard work. That's a lot of intentional time management. So we're going to touch on that. How did her and Don do that? Don's coming out with the book. We're going to touch on that. So there's a lot of good nuggets that are going to be dropped on this show today. I want you to share it. Again, Marcus Holmes. We're going to be doing all the call to actions. Want you to share this. I'm going to give you where else you can follow the Barnetts as well as myself. But guys, I've been married 17 years. This thing is not easy. Being in a blended family is not for punks. Y'all know that that's my tagline too. Being in a blended family is not for punks. All right. It's not easy, but we have the Barnetts here today to help you through that process. And if I can't help you, they can't. If they can't help you, there is somebody that can. Oh, and we have the man who makes it happen. My father. What's going on, Dad? Hey, the Barnetts, I'm just letting you know, my dad, he joins the show every Sunday that he can, and he's always adding some good commentary. This man, him and my mom have been married, I think, 42, 43, might be 45 years. I know your parents are up in that range as well, Tanya?
Yep. They were married in 1971, so about 47 years.
Dad, tell me how long y'all been married. I lose count after 40, but man, they've been together, and they're Tanya, same. My mom and dad have been married, but we're going to be touching on those inner child issues, the traumas that you didn't know Don, that you had in terms of the hospitals. I just love the transparency there, because I had a show last week with Dr. Sandra Steen, and we were talking about how those childhood traumas can affect you in your marriage. And if you don't deal with them quickly and effectively and properly, it can really almost dismantle a marriage. So we're going to be touching on that. So Dad says that they've been married 46 years in September. 46 years in September.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah, that is. Thank you, Colette, for sharing. Let's dive right into this. This is a really great. I want to. Yeah, go ahead.
2 thumbs up to your dad for remembering.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's the one. My dad is meticulous. Gets up still 5 a.m. He's retired, Don. But he's just meticulous. He still reads every day. I mean, he's just a really meticulous guy. But yeah, 46 in September. Hey, Aunt Cookie, I see you're joining in. She's looking forward to the show. Aunt Cookie used to be the one of the producers of Eddie Long's Emmy Award-winning show back in the day when Bishop Eddie Long was doing that. So really excited to have her on, and I know she's looking forward to today's show. Let's get some background on the Barnetts. Yeah, y'all go ahead. Tell us what's going on. Give us some background, Tanya. Let the world.
So we've been married 19 years. We just celebrated 19 years last month, June. So we celebrated 19 years. We are a blended family. My husband married me when my daughter was 7 years old, and she's now 26, thriving, doing fantastic. And so it was a challenge. It really was a challenge. I don't think I knew anyone that had a blended family. So I didn't have anyone to pull off of. And it was tough. It was tough relinquishing some of that control. It was tough because Dom was raised. I was raised in a very controlling household where it was just kind of like, you go in the refrigerator whenever you want to. In our house, it was ask mama before you touch the refrigerator, that type of thing. So it really was a challenge for the both of us blending. He didn't have any children. I had my daughter. But it was like after we got through some of those growing pains of becoming one family, it was kind of smooth sailing. Of course, you had the teenage angst and all that other stuff that we had going on. But I mean, I'm happy to say that now he's a great grandfather to our grandson, which is our daughter's son. And I think he talks to her more like 3 times a day more than I do. So, it can happen. And so I want to tell people it can happen. I mean, she and my husband, that is daddy to her, and she would have it no other way. So for those of you who may have a younger blended family, it can be done. We did it. Yeah. And, our children turned out okay. And so, want to say anything else there?
You didn't ask me.
Okay.
So Dawn, but I'm about to, right? Where are y'all from? I've read the book, and there's about to be, I think, we're going to be putting some call to actions on people getting the book and where to find you. But how did y'all meet? I think that kind of sets the tone. If you can summarize it I know I read it in the book, and y'all, I'm just telling you, this is the book. If you can multitask, go get the book. It's on Amazon. Being a Wife Just Got Real. This is the book. All right. I want to let you know, my wife read it on a flight. I can't remember where, and it was transformative for her. Mm-hmm. Your transparency, and this is my tagline, my transparency, your deliverance, your transparency helped my wife.
Wow.
And so it's going to be, y'all need to go to Amazon. Being a Wife Just Got Real by Tanya Barnett. I want to know how y'all met. I want to let the people understand the genesis of how this all happened. Okay.
I'm gonna talk.
Okay. He has his version of the story. Go ahead.
Let's do it.
Okay. Like at the time when we met, I was a school teacher, and I went to a new doctor, and it just so happened to be her first day, and my first day at the doctor. So, she was, I was getting like a physical and, the whole thing. And then she had to give me some shots, right? So, I'm in there. So, she's flirting, and I'm flirting back. And to make a very long story short, because I could tell this for days, she ended up giving me her mama's number, her phone number to her apartment, her cell phone number, and I had the office number. So I had 4 ways to
work it
find her. Right.
That's,
you know what I'm saying? So I had to lock down early.
That's what I'm talking about. Tanya, you admitted it in the book. So
right.
Don said is the truth.
The way he says it. I'm just like, I'm matter of fact. He hypes it up. That's all.
That's how we do it. I mean, but it's all true. So, Don, this is good. I mean, now we have the initial meeting, but then Tanya, what happened? I mean, it's like you didn't like Don's form of chivalry. I mean, the Reese's Pieces. You didn't like his form of chivalry, and you dropped Don. What was that all about? And tell me, let the audience know what happened and what kind of brought Don back into the picture.
He was coming by my job, bringing me. You remember the dollar flowers from 7-Eleven that you could buy, and he would bring me like a $1 rose or like a Reese's cup or something like that to my job rather frequently. And I'm just being honest, no one had ever done that. He put lockdown. No one had ever done that before. And so it kind of felt like invasive to me. Like every time I turn around, here he was. And so we just didn't click initially. And it just so happened, so that was like a month. We tried to make it work, but it didn't. So then a couple months later, he happened to call the doctor's office again, and he wanted to speak to the doctor, but the doctor wasn't available. And so I was like, well, how can I help you? And so before we got off the phone, it was like we had another date, and 6 months later, we were married.
Yeah, you see how she want to come back home?
Yeah, I see that. That's what I'm saying, Don. That's what I was trying to get at, Tanya. Yeah, you can't. Don already knew, and I think that's the beauty of a guy. We know it. I mean, it sounds like Don, you knew this was the one.
Well, I was really just like, I was being nice to her. You know what I'm saying? I was showing her some things that she never saw before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she knew nobody was like treating her good like that. And that was just my personality. That's just how I was, like for real. That's my personality.
It is.
So
he's a giver. He's a big giver.
It was like one of those things where it was nothing for me to show her kindness and give her respect. But she kind of clowned me because she wasn't used to being able to receive that kind of respect. You know what I'm saying?
And I think a lot of Black women, and that's something that I deal with when I work with the women that I talk to, we're not used to, I won't generalize. A lot of us have not been treated well by men. And so it's hard for us to receive that because then we think, oh, he's a punk or he's soft or he's this or he's that.
Or he must want something.
When really that could just be his heart, that he's a giver. And I didn't realize my husband was a giver at the time.
Wow. So you get married 6 months after, the re-encounter, and what happens, right? I mean, I'm reading the book. So family, I'm leading you through the book, and we're going to jump in and out of the storyline, but I'm going to tell you, it gets real. And it's funny. I see me saying it, I'm reading the book, and I'm like, man, that just got real. Touch on what happened. I mean, 6 months in, you get married after that, and then real life hits. What happened? Can you tell everybody?
I mean, just all hell broke loose. I wound up getting sick, going on bed rest, and I don't want to give too much away because I want people to buy the book. But, I just wound up being on bed rest. And then my husband was stuck with, okay, now I have this kid I have to take care of. What am I doing? Because I've never been a father or whatever. So thankfully, his family in Pennsylvania immediately stepped in and was like, however long y'all need us to watch her, we'll do it. So he drove her to Pennsylvania, and they kept her, I think, the whole entire summer, right before school started, because this happened right after we got married. I got sick. And so, yeah, I mean, and then after that, just some other things transpired, and it took years to build us back up from, all the craziness that we had.
Wow. So the book, right? We want people to go buy it. Mm-hmm. But this book was born from, and I always say, the struggle is real. People don't really, when you're able to tap into the pain of a situation and understand that, you know what, I'm on the other side of it and I need to share this so somebody else doesn't have to go through it. That's a true testimony. What gave you the idea to do this book?
Honestly, one day I was sitting at my laptop, and I kept hearing this nagging voice to tell my story. At the time, I didn't know what that story was. And it just kept nagging me and nagging me and nagging me. And so, I just sat down and just typed out maybe like a paragraph or so. And, I set my book down. And I ran into this young lady who's now my mentor, and we were just talking. And she was like, "Oh my God, you got a story to tell." And so I told her, "Well, you know what? I started writing, just putting my thoughts down on paper or whatever." And asked her, could I send it to her? And the minute she saw my like rough draft, she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is a book. You gotta get your story out there. You're gonna help so many marriages, so many women." She was like, "We got to get this book out." And so she gave me a deadline of when the book had to be done. It just so happened I was going on a girls' trip to Mexico, and I finished the book on the beach in Mexico. It's 7 full days. I just wrote all day, every day, and that's how my book was born.
So let's touch on. I know we wanted to touch on 3 things. 1, how to survive an affair. 2, catastrophic loss. And I mean, again, I don't want to give away too much because we want you to go buy the book, y'all, because it is a great read. I have 2. I think my wife just gave one of the copies to her best friend, I believe. We have one here in the house, and we're buying 3 for 3 amazing men or women that are active participants on this show. You got to be live to do it. If you're in the conversation, you're adding volume, you're adding some good commentary. Tanya is going to sign, and autograph that book, especially to you. Compliments of the Blended Family Guy and my wife, Crystal. We're going to do that. So that being said, let's touch on that first one. Let's get into it, because I think right now, Tanya, Dawn, it's so easy in today's society with digital, you can have an online affair. You can have, whereas before the internet came about, it normally had to be an office romance, or it had to be something in person. But I want you to help all those people that are saying, "Man, how do we survive it? What do we do?" What is your advice, Don, Tanya? Tell us, because I think that's huge.
Well, for us, it was an emotional affair that lasted for about a year. And it really started from my husband and I were not in a good place together. And so someone came into my life from the past and just really started innocently, just saying sweet nothings and, "Oh, you're doing so great," and da da da. And then it just began to escalate. Sure. So my husband wound up finding out about it. And at the time, I was devastated when he found out. And so for us, we really had to get clear on how do we get here. And then that's when my husband, he really did some soul searching as well. And I think that's one of the things people need to understand, is that both people play some role in another spouse feeling not valued or whatever. So it's just not something that happens out of a vacuum. You just wake up one day and boom, you're in this thing. There's things leading up to it, clues. And when I say clues, I'm talking about between the two of you, not okay, left their phone open or something on. I'm talking about,
right.
connecting, something's not going on, you know, intimacy is falling off and things of that nature. So I'll let Don, you know, share how we were able to how we were able to overcome it.
Well, can he ask the question?
Yeah. No, he said
no. I love Don's like me.
He's a man.
Right. We do the same way. I'll be like, well, babe, go ahead, Don. You're good.
Okay. No, because I know my wife is one of them kind of people. But when I discovered the information on the laptop, and it wasn't like a thing where I was like looking for it or anything like that. I was just kind of. It actually was like Thanksgiving or something like that, and I was looking for football scores, and I was going to talk some trash about the games coming up because, you know, the Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving, you know. So, you know, I'm a Cowboys fan. So we was just, yeah. So, you know, I'm ready to go all in, you know. And then I see like, you know, the images pop up on her Facebook page. I'm like, huh? And you know, I'm reading these things and like, dude was like really going in like, yo, I'm just like, really? So, you know, I call, I tell her what's this. And then, you know, I was really mad. And you know, we went upstairs, but then I just really didn't want to be bothered in the same breath because I was mad. But, you know, after having some time to think about it, like just rationally without all the emotion in it, you know, I had to take responsibility for the role that I played in my wife's emotional affair because I wasn't being attentive. I wasn't doing the things that she needed. You know, I'm thinking like, I'm checking all the boxes. I'm paying your bills. I'm taking care of the house. I'm doing all these things. Just fall back and chill. You're good. You know, and really she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take ownership of that. You know, because as her husband, it's my responsibility to make sure to check the temperature in the house and make sure everything is good. And when I mean check the temperature, meaning like, you know, between her, my kids, everything we got going on, that's our responsibility, is to make sure our house is good. And I was making sure our house was good financially, but emotionally, you know, I just was not present with my wife at all, you know, which led to that. And I can own that. You know, so I take full responsibility for her actions. Now, granted, I'm not saying what she did is right. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I see how she got there because I wasn't doing what I needed to do.
Yeah, and I think we both at that point in life, we both were on autopilot because our kids were like in soccer, cheer, Girl Scouts. We were active in church. So we were just kind of like on autopilot. So we really were missing each other and not tending to each other's needs, basically. You know, I wasn't tending to his, he wasn't tending to mine. And that's just kind of how we had that disconnect. We look good outside of our house. We look good in church. We look good, you know, at the cheer competitions and at the football games because I was football mom, you know, team mom and all this other stuff. But on the inside, we were jacked up.
You know, this is why I had to have you on the show because I had ordered the book. I'm the one who had ordered the book, Tanya, about, I think it's been, when did your book initially get released?
2016.
Okay, so it was summer of 2017. Okay. And I was doing some research on blended families. Your name came up and I ordered 2 copies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I'm always constantly ordering books. But you know why y'all are on this show? It was, again, because my wife, she just, because we have, you know, you see our little library right in the back here. I had started reading, but my wife, she took the book. And when I just saw her excitement over it, I was like, wow, I got to have y'all on. And to that point, Don, it takes a real man and a real person to say, you know what? I have some culpability in this. That's huge, man. And to be honest, you don't have people that'll normally do that when they're the ones who could be offended. And I'm sure you still were, but the point is that you took on some of that responsibility. That's huge. And even to say that you were emotionally absent, that just, Don, I'm gonna tell you, man, I just met you for the first time today, but I can already say, man, you're right here. You're right up here with me, because most men don't know how to do that. I think they want to, but pride, the male ego can come in. So, Doc, I can't wait for you to come out with your book so I can have you on the show. But because, and let me say this, guys, and me and my wife joke. We joke, but I'm not joking. I've told my wife before. I said, honey, if you ever, stepped out on me, I said, honey, I don't know if I could survive it. I said, I don't know if my ego would let me. And she said, well, babe, if you stepped out on me, I know we would stay together. And we joke about it, but I'm like, Don, you're the man. And I'm serious. I'm looking up to you, because I would, and I'm being honest, I don't know if I could do that. But that's why I need men in my life that have said they can, because normally it can be the other way around, right? Yeah. I'm telling you, man, I'm looking up to you, man. I hope there's some men out there that are saying, wow, this dude is real. And correct me if I'm wrong, Don, what frat are you part of?
The only one there is.
Don, you are the man. You are the man. And I'm being honest when I say that, Ton, you got a good man, because I don't know too many that could do that. But that's why y'all are here. That's why I see y'all were on the Oprah Winfrey Network, because your story is phenomenal. That being said, and I'm getting, we're getting a whole lot of commentary. We got, society doesn't endorse men taking ownership of anything on an emotional level. Don't break the mold. That's my Aunt Cookie talking, and she's spot on. So Don, you got some ladies out there that are cheering you on, because again, you're taking on something that society, and I agree with my Aunt Cookie. Society, let's look at it at all levels. They don't ask men to take emotional responsibility for too much anything nowadays. Right. So I applaud you, my friend. I do. Yeah. So that being said, we got the emotion, Don, how did you reconcile? One, you admitted it, but how did you get better and become emotionally present so this wouldn't happen again?
That's a good question.
Well, I had to deal with my own stuff, man. I had a lot of things going on, from my past. I allowed my past to seep into my present. So I'm trying to deal with that. Just the day-to-day grind of working, taking care of the house, taking care of my wife. And then, like she said earlier before, that, we weren't getting along. So, I'm hearing all this, and, really, I just got lost in it all. So from that point on, which led to me going to counseling, which led to me just spending more time, realistically in my Bible, with myself, some quiet time, just because it's I had a foundation in that. Like my grandmother, before she passed away, she always took me to church. You know what I'm saying? So even though I might have strayed away from it, you know what I'm saying? When I really needed it, it was wow, bam, there it is. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the first thing that came to mind to do was when I was dealing with all this, because I couldn't handle it. It was just too much, So I really had to pray. And that's why I wanted my wife just to leave me alone. Let me think, let me get this together. Let me focus on that, because that allowed me, I had the space to then think rationally, think soberly, to pray, get my thoughts together, to realize yo, dude, it's easy to point the finger at somebody else, but what did you do? You know what I'm saying? What did you do? So from that point on, I realized I had to make changes. And, I never held it over my wife's head. The only time we ever talk about this is when we're on a show like this or somewhere else. I never bring it up to her. I never say, "Oh, remember what you did 2 years ago, this," because that's non-productive. Do you see what I'm saying? When I forgave her, and we was done with it. You see what I'm saying? And so it was just like one of those things, man, where I just really just purposed in my heart that I'm going to forgive my wife, because I'm not perfect either. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's stuff that I do that's probably annoying to her. Do you see what I'm saying? But I knew my wife needed me in that moment. Even, like, I know people say, well, Dad, she's the one that messed up, this, but she needed me, man. Like, she was legitimately hurting behind all of this. Do you see what I'm saying? And yeah, I could have been like, okay, boom, you done gave me my get out of jail free card. I'm gonna go do something, or I'm leaving. I'm gonna go this. But no, that's not my heart to be spiteful like that. Do you see what I'm saying? So I forgave my wife. I moved on. We enjoyed Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, and if anything, she would nag me about it. Like, I'm fine, man. Leave me be. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. Let's just keep it moving. We good. I forgave you. We moved on. You know what I'm saying? Because she understood what my wife is a very intelligent woman. She knows right from wrong. She don't need me like pounding in it like, you did this. You know what you did. No, she don't need that. She needed me to love her, embrace her, and let her know that everything is going to be all right. That's what she needed. You know what I'm saying? She didn't need me like, this is what you did. This is what you did. This is what you did. No, she didn't need that.
Wow. Don, I'm getting goose pimples, right? Because this is what true forgiveness is about. Family, if you're listening to this, I want you to share this. Why? Because there are marriages that should still be in existence today, but because of unforgiveness in either of the spouse's heart. And here's what's so powerful. Don is saying he forgave his wife and was like, I'm done. We're good. Let's move on. And he only brings it up only to bear light to help other people, but he doesn't bring it up in spite, or when there's an argument, or when it gets heated, or when it gets tough, or when and Tanya and Don are not perfect, but when Tanya messes up and it's one of those big mess ups or arguments, he's not throwing it in her face. That's huge, guys, because we as couples, we sometimes want to hit below the belt. So Don has chosen to take the high road in an area that most people can't, and that's why they can't survive. So again, I applaud both of you for that. My wife, I know you're listening. You're probably on your way back home. This isn't your get out of jail free card, but I'm just telling you, if you stepped out and maybe it was Boris Kojo or, Sean Connery back in the day, she had a little crush on Sean Connery. If you stepped out on me with any of with those two, I get it. I'm going to forgive you. And because Don is talking to me and I've seen it, we're okay. Right. Just those two guys, all right. Maybe from Thor, because I can tell she likes watching Thor a lot. So I maybe him too, But in all actuality, in seriousness, your transparency is Don. For men, that's huge. Tanya, wow, you guys again are a power couple. I'm really looking forward to even some more questions. So. That being said, Tanya, loss. Oh, and here's Aunt Cookie. Well, what about Idris Elba? I don't know. I don't know. Y'all are funny. Y'all get off this Facebook feed. No, don't be bringing more into this now. So I'm going to tell you got Ebony and Garcia Witt. That's family from North Carolina. Her and my wife went to school together. Just to tell you their story, she's 42 and just got pregnant. Wow. They're having their first child, so I'm really excited for them. Tanya, dealing with loss, and this is something that I love your transparency. The alopecia, which a lot of women are dealing with, but don't want to talk about it. For me, Men, there's certain things we do not want to talk about. But I just love the fact that we're having this platform because there are so many women that are dealing with that. And when I ran the numbers and the research, Tanya, it happens to quite a few.
Yep.
I mean, it's quite a few. The number is large for women. So how did you
dealing with hair loss? 41% are dealing with hair loss, and majority of them will never tell anybody. Mm-hmm.
And what did you say? The majority will never tell anybody. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. So what empowered you to be the one who says, you know, I'm going to go against the statistics because other women need to hear me? Because, y'all, I want you to understand, when Tanya, and I'm just reading some of your articles, Tanya, when you decided to be brave, to be a brave heart, to be transparent, it's actually in the area of pain that you had conquered. You actually became almost a national spokesperson for it. You were getting, you know, people calling you left and right to touch on it. So tell us about that.
Well, I had locks like down my shoulder, and they were just thinning. Went to the doctor, and she said, you know, hey, let's do some tests. Da, da, da. And meanwhile, they're still falling out. And eventually, she told me I had what was alopecia. Never even heard of that word. And so for about 2 or 3 years, I couldn't even say the word without like breaking down. And so went to my husband about it, and I was like, babe, here's a pamphlet. She told me, you know, take these pills, creams, shots. It's a possibility my hair can grow back. However, it can affect my liver. It can affect my kidneys, this and the third. And my husband was like, babe, he was like, it ain't even worth it. Like, for real, he was like, I love you. I don't care whether you have no hair, some hair, whatever. And so honestly, I didn't go back to the doctor after that, you know. And so it took a lot of effort for me to, one day I just got up and I went to him, and I'm sorry.
No.
And I just told him I wanted to cut it all off because I had bald spots all over.
Wow.
So he took me to the barber shop, and I just sat in the chair, and the barber just cut all my hair off. And it was painful for me because in the barber shop, there's all these men there. So here I am, this woman with a head full of hair, and I'm watching all these men watch me get my hair cut off. And so that was very painful for me. And so I got in the car, and I just cried and I cried and I cried. My husband just held me, and we went home, and I cried some more, and he held me, and he was just like, babe, it's going to be okay. And so for about 3 years, I just act like I was bald because I wanted to be bald. And people just kept making comments about, girl, when you going to grow your hair out and this and the third. And I finally had just had I was at my wit's end. And so I went on Facebook and did this long post about me being bald and why I was bald and things of that nature. And immediately, like right after that, my Facebook messaging was exploded with people saying, I'm dealing with the same thing. I've been wearing a wig for years. My husband doesn't even know. And women who were going to bed with wigs on their heads because they were afraid, you know. And so, and I mean, women that we knew, we were like, oh my God, you know, these women are suffering in silence. And so I just took it on as my mission to educate women and say it's okay. And since then, I think I've had like 2 or 3 women finally cut all their hair off that have been hiding behind wigs for forever. And so to now see them in their full glory without any hair and living boldly and proud, and their husbands accepting them, you know, it's just beautiful. I mean, it's painful at times. There are some times where I grieve over over losing it, because statistics have shown that for women, losing their hair is akin to losing a limb. And so, you know, especially if you grew up in the church and they say a woman's hair is her glory. So For a while, I kind of struggled with that. Would my husband find me attractive? Would he find me feminine? You know, all those things. Would people think I was gay? I mean, all those things would cross my mind, you know. Job interviews. How would people view me on a job interview? Would they think I was sick or, you know, so those are things that people don't think about. And so I just really, through the help of my husband, I've really been able to help other women. I had an Embracing Your Baldness conference where I had 2 and 3-year-old little girls there who were fully bald, no eyelashes, eyebrows, nothing. We took them on a spa day, just we hand out them, and you know, they got their nails done and you know, everything. And other little girls in the spa were like, oh my God, you know, staring at them. But then their parents came and asked me questions. So I was able to then educate parents in this spa about alopecia. And so since then, it's just been, you know, something where I've been able to help other women. And then my husband has even, you know, written a couple times about it, just for men, and saying for men to, you know, love their wives, because Black men have been sold a bag of goods about hair, you know, and that, and I think that's why so many women wear weave and things of that nature, because we've been so into, we have to have hair. And so, you know, I lost my hair in 2010, it's 2018. So it's just been my mission to just allow it to be an open door to have conversation.
Wow. Don, did you want to say anything on that as well, from a male point of view?
Well, I mean, my wife losing her hair through alopecia, you know, was really no big deal to me, in a sense of like, it didn't change my love for her. It didn't change how I viewed her or saw her or anything. I was still attracted to her. She's still the same person. She just doesn't have any hair. Do you see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
And a lot of brothers, they are caught up on hair, got to be flowing down your back, thick, wavy, or whatever. But I refuse to hold my wife hostage by wearing a wig or taking shots or injections that I don't know what could do to her or anything like that. You know, my thing is like, hey, be natural. And like now today, when you see women like from South Africa, this is a trend in South Africa now, to have your hair cut close like this. This is a trend. We were out one day in the city, and some women asked my wife, "Are you from South Africa?" Because women are cutting their hair like this in South Africa.
Nice.
You know, low, just like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, yeah, it never bothered me. I always supported my wife because I just felt like it was no big deal. And like I said, I wasn't going to be one of those brothers that was going to be so shallow and hold my wife hostage. Well, you need to wear a wig. You need to this. You need to that. You know, I wasn't going to do that to her. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it is not that serious. It is not that serious to be taking shots, wearing wigs, and all that other stuff. Hey, and you know what? I think she likes it cool like this anyway.
Especially in the summertime.
It's cool like this.
You know, now, so as you guys may or may, you don't know me, but so it's when I see anybody cry, I start crying. I'm crying McKnight. I am. I'm crying McKnight. But you have so many people, and you know, here's my wife. You know, my wife is, I think she's probably either on the side of the road commenting, or she's doing this while driving, which I think she's probably not. But she says, you have me in tears. Your heart is beautiful. Strength and beauty is what I see from Tanisha Crockett. My sister from Phoenix, Celia, she says, amazing. Wow, girl, you are rocking it. This is from Miss Wilson, KR Wilson. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, I'm from a guy perspective, and this is why I love this show. From a guy perspective, Don, you the man, Doc. I think that's what is emotional for me, because so many men place so much on their wives to perform, you know, to have the nice body, to, you know, have this long flowing hair. And it's so much that they put on their wives to do, and they ain't tight. You know,
Right.
you know what I mean? And you ain't tight. But I love the fact that you were like, you know what? I'm good either way, baby. I'm good. And I can tell that she's, and again, I know it still hurts sometimes, but Don, what I've seen is you've put a hedge of protection around your wife. And women know through intuition, they know when you're real or not. So she knows, okay, my husband's good, which makes her good. And I would assume more confident as well, Tanya, when you're going through those days and periods and the commentary, you're like, you know what? Bump all y'all. My husband, if he's good with it, I'm good. And I think that's just so powerful. Now that's, I'm going to take off the black love part. That's love. That's what love is about, y'all. It's never 50-50. It's sometimes you're having to go 100% the whole way in that area where your spouse can't give even 1%.
Right.
That's what my book is about. It's never 50-50 in a marriage. It never is. And so that's what, Don, I'm going to tell you, man, you coming back when you come out with the book, and we're going to talk, because this is amazing. This is an amazing conversation, very real. This is good, y'all. This is therapeutic for me. And I love to cry. I'm in touch with my emotions. I love to cry. I think I've teared up a couple of times. I'm just glad the lighting doesn't show it. But y'all, this is what love is about. That being said, wow. See, you have women chiming in right now. Man, you got, beautiful testimony, admire your confidence. Wow, you got Sierra Leone. She has alopecia too. My wife says she's in the driveway. She's coming through in a second. This is what it's about. I want to transition though. Mm-hmm. What did you guys do from a business perspective for all those up and coming authors and all those people that want to give back through their pain that they overcame and sometimes are still dealing with, but they want to help people with their testimony, with their test? What did you guys do to, gain such national attention? What did you do? Because some people do want to know.
Well, it started with the book. And it just so happened that, and this is just a small sidebar. When you're walking in purpose, doors open for you. And so that's something I've been having to tell a lot of people, because people have been asking me, what did you do? What did you do? Doors really have opened for me, where I haven't had to do anything but just be. And then someone would say, hey, that's how we were able to do Congressional Black Caucus, NAACP, speak at those places, where a friend of a friend was like, hey, here's a couple that talks about marriage and relationship. And then they sent us the emails like, hey, can you be, at the convention center in DC this day, this time, send us a picture, and so we're driving around trying to get a picture taken, to send. So it's like doors open for us without us even having to put forth the effort. There are some things, I had to get a mentor, I had to get a coach, I had to get my book, the branding and all this stuff, get clear about my messaging for my book, and then as well as for the alopecia. So those are some things you have to make some financial investments into making those things happen. But the rest of it, really, when you're walking in your purpose, I think they say when God gives you a vision, he gives provision. And that's really what has happened. And then in those relationships of showing up, we have a little saying, when you show up, you go up. And so we would go to different events. I would serve. I volunteer all the time. I volunteer at so many people's events that I admire. And I go to volunteer. I don't go to get anything out of them, starstruck or anything like that. I really go, I'm giving water. Can I get you something to eat? I'll run to Starbucks for you. I'm not too haughty to do that, and so that's what I do. I serve a lot. When there's conferences, events going on, I show up and I'm getting people's water. I'm getting their meals that they want or what have you. And I don't think it robbery. And I think that's why people have a level of respect in that space, because people see me serving with a servant's heart, as opposed to me showing up as a groupie or things of that nature. So then they'll say, hey, here's Tanya, here's this person, here's my connection, here's my this, here's my that. And that's how the door opened. the way we got on Oprah Winfrey Network is through my writing. I'm a blogger, and someone from the network was Googling, just like you were Googling blended family. Someone was Googling whatever. I don't even know what they were Googling. And I showed up. And so from there, they reached out and was like, hey, we love your transparency. We want you on the show. So that's really how a lot of things have happened for us, is just having a pure heart, being authentic, being transparent, not trying to just get with people so we can get from them, but really just serving people. And so that's really, there's no magic formula, there's no magic pill, just really serving. I tell people all the time, if you serve and you give and you sow, you'll reap. That's just real. You will reap through sowing.
Man, you know what, y'all? So, and my team just said this, when you show up, you go up. I want to add a little bit more to that. When you show up, you go up with no hidden agenda.
Right.
Because Tanya, me and you both know, Don, we all three of us know that you can serve, but still have false humility. And, you know, I really appreciate. So I want y'all to hear this. If you are a person that is wanting to build your platform, right? I want to make sure you heard what Don and Tanya were saying. Serve with no hidden agenda. When you serve, you reap the benefits of that. And sometimes you might not see it. Am I right, Tanya? Don, you might not see it right then and there. But I would probably say, Don, Tanya, y'all have been sowing some seeds for a good long while. So that blog post, that was from seeds planted months and years ago. The pain that you had to endure. You can't be transparent on something unless you went through that something.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And we even said that. My husband said that to me the other day. He was like, you got to tell people it took us 19 years to get here. 19 years of having been in an unhealthy marriage, and then working through that process, having these low points in our marriage, working through that, the therapy, talking, the arguments, then coming back together again and saying, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? So it took time. We're not an overnight success. It really took time to get to where we are, because now we can give people a message that is authentic, is real, is not made up. We got friends and families who can show you the receipts. They were there, when all this crazy stuff was going on. So, right, my husband took the bed apart in the middle of the night and was leaving me, So, I
don't even know where I was going with the bed. Was I going to put it on my back?
And we had a friend there at the time who talked him off the ledge and was like, nah, man, take the bed back upstairs, put it back together. So
look, because that's the only thing I had coming into the marriage was a bed.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I've been there too. I think and it's just to add some levity. I had gotten mad with my wife early on. I think it was year one of our marriage, and I had found this TV in the dumpster. It was laying on the side of the dumpster. I got mad with her one day and walked out with my TV. And my little TV, it was about 300 pounds, but I'm lugging it all day. So I'm like, and I look back and I'm like, you were a fool. What is wrong with you? Right. So I'm with you, Don. I'm with you.
It's the principle.
It's the principle. It's the principalities of the thing. It was mine. So Don, I'm just telling you, Tanya, this has been an amazing show. We're coming up on an hour, and I feel like we could go another 3 hours. It's already 6:57. Man, I don't want to let y'all go. We're going to have to do this again. Now, Tanya, Dawn, I know that I'm going to have to get on your calendar probably months in advance as things start really escalating with your individual platforms and co-platforms, with you working this together. But I think the family, we already have 73 comments.
Wow.
We got Wow. K.R. Wilson, she just said, I love your story. The transparency is a true blessing. You give me so much courage. She's telling you guys this. Man, this has been a phenomenal show. I want to ask you this, and I want to type this in. What is the best way for people to get in contact with you and follow your platform, your brand?
Together we're the Real Barnetts on all social media. So that's the Real Barnetts with the S on the end. So we're on Instagram and Twitter there. And we have a website that's coming. And then my website is realwifemovement.com. That's where my blog is. That's where people can purchase my book. But if people want to work with me, they can go to realwifecoach.com. I do coach women, wives. I have a Facebook group called the Real Wife Movement. So if anyone wants to join us there, and we talk about supporting and uplifting not only Black men, but each other as Black women and our children. So we celebrate our children as well, what our children are doing, things of that nature. And then my husband is Don Barnett, and then 3 I's because he's the third, but you got to put I's. So he's Don Barnett on all social media. Don Barnett and then 3 I's. Okay.
Follow Don at here. Let me get this. Matter of fact, my social media team will get that printed out, and we'll post that so everybody can see it on this feed. If you could tell me this before we go, and I let you guys get back to that good barbecue that Don cooked. What are the top 3 things that you would like to share with people on today? What are those 3 things? Don, Tanya, what are your top 3 things that if somebody was on the verge of giving up on their marriage, what would you tell them?
I would say one of the things we always practice in our own home is listening without judgment. You know, you have to give the person a safe and secure space to speak their truth. And once they do speak their truth, regardless of whether you like it or don't like it, it's still their truth. So respect it, and then see, you know, how you may have played a part in those feelings, and see where you can go and meet at to basically kind of move forward. You know, not get so caught up in what the person said or didn't say, but see how you can move forward together.
Man, that's a good one. Listen without judgment.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think we as couples, every couple can have that challenge. I know I do. My wife is constantly telling me that. So, like I said, we've been married 17 years, but it's not easy. It's not perfect for us.
Number 2, in that listening with judgment, without judgment. The second thing I would say is be quiet sometimes. I'm just being honest. You gotta be quiet sometimes, especially for women. One of the things my husband used to say to me all the time is stop trying to fix me, just listen. And so definitely being quiet and listening just to give him a space to talk. And so that's something I'm trying to do a lot, and I don't get it all the time. And there's still times where he's like, babe, can you just listen to me? Stop trying to fix me. And so I'm really and then now he'll be like, well, did you hear what I said? Because he's so used to me always responding, you know, like I'm listening.
Yeah.
You know? So definitely be quiet and just listen, because if we don't listen, trust and believe, somebody's going to bail herself, whether she's at church, the gym, work, somebody's going to listen to him. Right. So why not it be you? So be quiet.
Ooh, all right. And what's number 3? That's a good one. Those 2 are good.
And number 3, you can't go wrong with this. Forgive and love. Forgive and love.
Forgive.
Yep.
Y'all, you know what? I think from the hour conversation we've had, that forgive and love, we're seeing it on display. I mean, what y'all have had to go through and still are, right? I mean, as long as you'll be married, as long as we're married, there's challenges that we're going to continue to face. But I'm seeing all three of those points in action just in the hour that I've had with you. And I'm going to say again, guys, go get the book. It's on Amazon. You can also go to Tanya's website. I would assume the Real Wife Movement. You can order it there. Would you prefer
realwifemovement.com?
realwifemovement.com. Now, that being said, I have people asking, where are you going to be? Are you going to be on any shows soon, or any conferences? What's going on with you guys over the next few months?
For the next few months, we don't really have any conferences coming up. We will be on season 3 of Black Love. So we did find out that we'll be on season 3. So we're excited about that. But right now, this summer, we got kids going to college. We have a brand new grandbaby. So I'll be actually helping my daughter with her baby soon. And so, we really wanted to make sure that we were available to our kids. Because we don't ever want them to feel like, well, Dad, our parents are putting this in front of us. We always want to, and you started your program off saying that about your son, that you want your kids to understand that, there could be none of that if our home life is jacked up. I don't want to be a public success and a private failure. I never want to do that. So right now we're really focusing on our baby girl going to college, getting her prepared for that. Don's book is coming out. We're shooting for September-ish. That's what we're shooting for. But we're open to coming to conferences. If there's, people who want us to come out either together or individually, we're definitely open to that, because we definitely want to get our message out about hope and understanding that. And I shared this when I was on the Time Joiner Morning Show, because they were saying that they didn't believe that every marriage can stay together. And I said it can if both people are committed to doing the work. And so that's our message. You both have to be committed to see it through. The wife can't be the one praying and hoping and wishing, and the husband is just dead set and locked in and he's not changing, and vice versa. They both have to do the work. And it just starts with laying down your pride. And
owning your stuff.
Yeah, own your stuff.
Owning it. Man, that's a huge one. I'm just telling you, it can be hard for anybody. I know men, again, with our egos and stuff, it's hard. So, Don, I thank you for throwing that out there too. Tanya, this has been great. I don't want to end this conversation. I really want to dig a little deeper and ask a few more questions and let people comment. But I also know it's 8:05 on the East Coast, and you guys want to get back to. Now you got me a little, but I'm excited for you guys, your future. I want to have you back on, Don. Tanya, we'll be looking at season 3 on of Black Love. I wish you guys nothing but continued success. Please let me have you back on the show again. And this is what I think I'm gonna do. I have there's a couple of other wife coaches that I have. I want to do a panel interview.
Okay.
All three of y'all, because all three of y'all are sharp in your own thing, man. Okay. One question from people. This is from Vinzil. It's like my niece. All right. She says, do you give up? So my wife just walked in, and you're hearing that feedback because the missus is, but honey, but babe, you got to turn it off though, honey, because it's getting feedback. She's looking at the Facebook Live while she's walking around the house. I'm like, babe, but okay. Sorry about that. Vinzil says, do you give up when the other party isn't committed?
Let me say this. I say this all the time. you have to do what's best for you. I would never advocate somebody leaving their marriage, and I would never advocate somebody staying. What I do advocate is doing the work. And you have to know where that barometer stands for you. What I did initially, my husband did not want to go to counseling. So I did all I could do. I had a prayer partner. I prayed, and I trust and I believe God. And so in the midst of that, then my husband went to counseling, I went to counseling, and then we were able to go to counseling together. But I made a choice to stay. I can't tell somebody what to do. That's just something we don't do. We don't tell somebody stay, go, or what have you. We just tell people what we did in order to make our marriage work. And that's part of that, owning their stuff. And sometimes people aren't mature enough to do that yet. You know, if that other person isn't mature enough, you know, you have to make that determination. Is this something I'm willing to pray through and seeing what's on the other side? I mean, I can only imagine if I quit at year 5, you know, Don and I wouldn't be here in front of y'all right now. So, you know, and at one point he was like, ain't nothing wrong with me. It's all you, you know, and so you crazy and, you know, all this other stuff. But I really was committed, and I love my husband enough to stand in the gap for him and pray for him and for his heart to change. And then once his heart changed towards me, then I was able to change. So, you know, that's all I can say to that.
And another thing too is a person has to do more than just tell you they're committed. They have to show you they're committed through the things that they're doing in their actions. Because a lot of times people will say, yeah, babe, I'm going to change. I'm going to this, I'm going to that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But really, it's your actions that is going to get you back in the door, not your lip service. A lot of times, women, men, they'll make the mistakes and they'll get back into these relationships, and the person hasn't done any kind of work to better themselves or improve themselves. They just sold you a bill of goods. You bought it, believed it without any kind of receipt. And now you're back in the same situation because the person was not able to prove that they have done anything to better themselves. They showed you nothing. They just gave you a bunch of lip service and you bought it.
Wow. Y'all, wow. Okay. I hope that answered your question, Vinzil. This that was some good knowledge. Y'all are getting some good coaching on tonight. If you want to extend that coaching with some people that have actually been through it, not just seen it on TV, not just read about it. These people have been through it so they can speak with experience. All right, there's in coaching, once you have the experience, you need to reach out to them. They do offer coaching. So I'm going to say this again. Y'all follow these people, share this broadcast. I know that there is somebody that can benefit. Your friend, your wife, your mother, your brother, your uncle, somebody can benefit. Please share this broadcast. These were relevant topics coming from a very transparent couple. The Barnetts, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being transparent. Man, you guys are awesome. I got to have y'all on again, but I'm going to let you go. I don't want to let you go, but I'm going to let you go. And man, this has just been a great conversation. Wow. All right. I will talk with y'all later. Blended Family Playbook. I'll see y'all next Sunday. We got a really special show coming up, Barnetts. If you want, you can overnight me some of that barbecue, or next time I'm on that side of the country, we have a cookout. We're going to have a cookout.
Let's do it.
Okay, man. I'll see y'all later. I love y'all, Blended Family. Keep being intentional. Make that marriage work. Make that family work. It's not going to happen unless you put intention in there with God as the foundation. All right. I talk with y'all later. See you next week. Love you. Barnetts, y'all are amazing. Thank God for you. We'll be talking soon. All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Bye now.